World Neighbors Canada has been funding village development projects among the most marginalized people of Honduras since 1990. Honduras is second only to Haiti in its level of poverty in the Western Hemisphere. Our first project, from 1990 to 1998, was centered on the small village of El Socorro in the department of Comayagua. Our second was on the slopes of Santa Barbara Mountain in the department of Santa Barbara. Our current project, begun in 2006, is at 4,000 feet in the remote mountains of El Periso near the Nicaraguan border. Many of the 369 families in our project area moved there in the 1980s when the government released the land during a land reform. The families moved there to grow coffee with promises of support and technical assistance from the government. They have been waiting 20 years for it to arrive. Our baseline survey suggests that many of the families suffer food insecurity at least 2 months of the year, and nearly half are in debt to the coffee buyers. Many continue to practice the highly destructive slash-and-burn agriculture. Most families still use the traditional stoves for cooking. These stoves have no chimney and vent into the home. It is little wonder that respiratory diseases, along with diarrhea, are the major killers of children. The villagers lack most modern infrastructure. There is no electricity, telephone, postal service, or stores beyond the simplest convenience store in the corner of someone's home. If it did not say Escuela on the side of this building, one could be forgiven for not recognizing it as a school. The largest of the 6 villages offers classes to the grade 9 level. Our projects are implemented by our local partner, Vecinos Mundiales, who have been working in Central America since the 1970s. Headquartered in Guatemala, Vecinos Mundiales Mesoamerica oversees projects in Guatemala, Honduras, and Nicaragua. Victorino Rivera is the coordinator for our project. He joined Vecinos Mundiales in the 1980s as a young teenager when they began a project in his village. He had at the time a grade 3 education, and World Neighbors training was the turning point in his life. He served as a coordinator of our original El Socorro project and brings with him a vast kit bag of sustainable agricultural technology as well as wonderful skills in motivating villagers. Our object is not to build schools or health clinics for the villagers. Our object is to have them build their own schools and clinics by teaching them the techniques that will allow them to take control of their own self-development. The process is a slow one. This villager, from an earlier project, is showing us the plan he and his wife developed several years before this photograph was taken. It is the second map they will have created. The first would have been a map of what existed on their tiny plot of land. That map would have served as the starting point for discussions about the problems as they saw them. That would lead to a process of visualizing change and then committing it to a plan. Their plan shows the planting of fruit trees around the house to provide both shade and food for the family. There is a new latrine, an enclosed chicken yard that allows the collection of their valuable manure, a vegetable garden, a small wood lot, and finally an apiary. 2 years after the drawing of the map, this is the reality. They have done all of it, including an active bee yard that is providing much-needed revenue. There is nothing more empowering than to have identified, analyzed, planned for, and solved a problem. This is the process we have started in our Esperanza project. The process of mapping what exists is already taking place. Techniques are being learned to address the problems the villagers have identified. Classes in health, managing savings and credit groups, and agriculture are being held. Early adopters are creating models of environmentally sound techniques for growing coffee under a forest canopy. Women with natural leadership skills are being sought out and are being given real roles in running the savings and credit groups and community organizations. This woman has borrowed the equivalent of $25 from a group she participates in and has constructed the new improved stove the project promotes. The chimney not only takes the smoke out of the home, the stove also uses less than half the amount of firewood to do the same amount of cooking, as well as keeping the house clean. We work at the family level as well as the village level to support and encourage people's efforts to rise above the appalling poverty of this beautiful land. We are, of course, always grateful for donations from our fellow Canadians who want to partner with the people of La Esperanza.